I'm just coming to you. I'm just coming to you because I'm just looking at whatever is happening right now, and it's a mockery. We know that, yeah. Tuliona walisema kidogo tu, walisema relief ya housing levy ni how much? Wengine wetu ni kutoka so hadi tu so ikienda sana, si ndio? Hiyo relief haiwezi kubuy food. But pia tunajua hizi nyumba nani wanachukua, si ndio? Just bringing it closer, they've now tampered with our education, where most of us say this is what awakened, the awakening we have right now. Sindio, they've gone to an extent of saying whatever you're paid in your pay slip, almost half of it goes back to the government. Na si kwa gavatu, wanaiba, wanalipa China na wanalipa the eastern part of it, akina IMF. Sindio, where do we stand as youth? Do we have a future in this country? Ama sisi wote tupande ndege za free zenye Ruto alipromise tuende?
Thank you. First, on the matter of school fee payment, I am fairly informed that despite being a young man, I sit in a board of management in a public girls' school, an extra county school. Also in a primary school, I'm a member of the board. This government of Kenya Kwanza has got two ends. One, if it touches left, it is fraud. If it touches right, it is corruption. These guys speak of capitation being sent to the kids in schools. I have had a scenario where the money was sent late, deliberately and intentionally. And the rule is, if the money is sent to the account and it is not used, it goes back to the national government. So they send money when it's about to close. The term is about to end. The programs, development programs that you'd planned, none is executed. The money, because you can't account for it, it must go back to the school. And that is in respect to JSS, because I think I'm talking much of JSS. I'm in that board. This thing is a scam. Yeah, maybe it's a good initiative being implemented the wrong way. On the university funding model, I do ask myself, William Ruto, who is the president, because the bag stops at his door. The man went to school through HELB. The man, his grandma was treated through NHIF. What changed all of a sudden? Why would you overhaul an entire system? Why don't you seal the loopholes? Because if it's about theft, then we have adequate resources at the disposal of independent institutions that have not been fully independent to manage this careless misappropriation of public resources. Why would we just start an entire thing? It's like we are gaining independence with President William Ruto. He's setting up his own structures, which are not working. I am a worried father of one because in 1 year's time, my son should start going to school. I wonder, because again, I don't want to take my son out of the country. For what reason? But is this the same system that my kid is going to go through? Their sons are not here. Some are dancing Rumba in UK and on our taxpayers' money. And you, your son and daughter, your sister, is being subjected to a system where there are no desks. On accountability, you've seen what people, social media, leveraging on technology to at least educate the citizens. We understand as we sit today, there are schools in this country that do not have seats. Children sit on stones. They are ever muddy. Hii area ya Rift Valley and Central Kenya, they lead. And by that, I'm not going to take hostages. If you feel I've offended you, I'm sorry. I have to speak my mind. These areas with Mutuwetu in power, some of their children are going through a lot. But again, they are given the responsibility to act when the right time comes. Mutuwetu syndrome. So on the reason why I'm saying Mutuwetu, unga sahi ni 130 whatever, ni kwetu wote. Wangapo walipigia William kura kwa mkono? Usiboeke tafadhali.
Walishasema pole.
Usiboeke, poleni. Ni hali ya maisha. Ni hali ya maisha, msiboeke. So this thing is touching both of us, whether you like it or not. So on the funding model, I would advise that we force the government to retreat back to the old system of HELB. If that system brought us a PhD president, a man who is ever flying left, right, and center, what do you think?
Yeah.
HELB brought, HELB, courtesy of HELB, we have President William Ruto. We have Rigathi Gachagua. We have all these
You have
people,
his entire cabinet.
body called skunk.
Yeah.
So, if this system produced all these skunks,
Yeah.
what makes it a big problem to produce a super president in the near future?
Imagine.
Why do we need to abandon all this system? Because IMF has decided to remote control somebody. I said IMF is sleeping in our state house. The MPs told us, some of them, under anonymity, that the finance bill we just rejected was not their own working. It is the responsibility of Parliament to also participate in budget making process because they are our representatives. Some of the things that were presented in the finance bill were out of touch with reality. Why? Because some stooges from IMF decided to get their way through the gate pass at State House. They corrupted William and his team. Kimani Ichung'wah blindly was instructed, after being given enough loot, to go and force it down our throats. And we also decided to accept. So, interference with our systems. How independent are we independent after 1963? We are still colonized.
Yeah.
If our president only sees an opportunity of creating job opportunities abroad, where young people are being, I don't know whether you saw that video Kaluale posted the other day, when he was saying he has just seen the video and he has decided not to support export of labor to the Middle East and other countries. So he had to wait to see a young girl being beaten like a foreign snake in a cow shed for him to act or revoke his senses that we don't really need to build our economy through exporting labor. 1965, Tom Mboya, a mere trade unionist who did not even graduate, let me say so respectfully, could organize for flights for young men and women to go and study abroad. Then later on, their expertise, knowledge, be used to develop our country. Come to 2024, a PhD holder, a man who has gone to the University of Nairobi, is only seeing an opportunity of exporting labor to the Middle East. Vijana waende wafanye kazi Middle East. Kwani hizo shamba tunaenda kulima huko? Hatuna shamba Kenya. Agriculture contributes the highest percentage to our GDP. How much have we contributed through agricultural production? Do we have sufficient food production? Let me drain the swamp peacefully. I'm about to finish. My chest is full. So, sometimes we just need to employ common sense, which may not be common to everyone, especially the people in leadership. Because what they are doing, vis-a-vis what is happening on the ground, you are talking of creating opportunities abroad. That abroad you are talking about as also citizens who elected responsible leaders. Now you want to transfer your problems from Kenya to America. Kwani America wana maskini? Dubai hakuna maskini? You can build our own rich men around. If some of you have managed to loot and become billionaires, we are not asking to loot. We only want you to better the service provision, equalize the environment, so that when Atieno, Mohamed, Wanjiku start to do their business of selling omena, it becomes so lucrative and profitable. Then we can all afford to put food on the table. Then when you come to lie with us with 500 shillings and I can make 600 in a day, I tell you where bana chorea. You see? Yeah. So that can only make sense when responsible leadership is in place. Thank you. Sija exhaust. The swamp is still heavy.
I think after yours kitu yote sisi wote tunafaa tuangalie tuseme nini? Zaka wafanye nini? Ateremke mbio mbio, si ndio? But mtu wangu wa Kebs, Rasasi. Namwita mtu wangu wa Kebs juu alisema ni quality what? Quality manager. Tuambie, when you were using your lens, when you were with this government, where are we? What are we doing? And is it worth waiting for 2027? Inakaa mbali sana.
Well, thank you. First of all, I'm surprised. You know, I thought Sankara and I were at the same level. He sits in the board of 2 schools. And
CBC
the only board that I'm related to is the whiteboard in my house. You know? And that's a problem, you know. Let me first talk a little bit about the education that they have said about. And I think he paints a very good picture about the incompetence that is so palpable in the leadership that we have, right? What are the kind of priorities that they have? Just very skewed priorities. Are we able to think about what does development, for example, means to our country? If we do not have those kinds of